Okay, great. So let's go ahead and start on your back. And like I said, this is just really getting into that grounding into the body. So releasing yourself on back onto the mat. Allowing the knees to be bent. Grounding into the soles of the feet, onto the floor. And tucking the chin, grounding into the back of the head. Maybe again, just shaking the head no. And coming back to center. We'll start off working with a sacral press. So this is where we're just working with tilting the pelvis back and forward, just really pressing the sacrum in on that exhale, almost tilting it back. And then on the inhale, tilting it forward. You'll feel that lift, the rounding of the spine, lifting off of the mat. And then exhale, imprint the sacrum and the rest of the spine, almost pressing gently into the feet. Inhaling, opening up. Lightness in the front body. Exhale, pressing through that spine. Okay, let's do 2 more. Inhale. Noticing the spine, the ribs, the sacrum, everything pressing into the mat. Soles of the feet, backs of the shoulder blades. Inhale, opening it up. Okay, as we exhale this time, just to neutral spine. Okay. I'm going to take a moment to draw in that right knee, extend the left leg out for a moment. And create little circles with that right foot. And then playing with a half baby, a half happy baby. So whatever's comfortable, you can keep that left leg extended or you can bend that left knee. Go ahead and place the hand either onto the toe, outside of the foot, and just drawing that knee to the outside of the rib cage here. Okay, just see what feels good in the body. In the beginning, it might feel like a little bit too much to extend that left leg out all the way long. So just see where it wants to be. Okay, slowly let go of that. Go ahead and ground that right foot down, draw the left knee in, extend the right out for a moment here before we move into that happy baby. And then grounding that sole of the foot if it feels comfortable. Just go ahead and start out this way and then see where the body wants to go. So just dropping that knee to the outside of that left rib cage. Okay, and then you can slowly play. Just kind of slide that heel, see where it wants to land. Find that breath. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and draw both knees in towards your chest. Give a nice big hug. Slowly release the soles of the feet down onto the floor, hands on either side of the hips. Moving with the bridge, we're going to let the hands float up above the head. Okay, so grounding into the feet. Inhale, rolling up through the spine. Arms above the head, press into the feet, really lift those hips, and then slowly roll it down. Let's do 3 more at your own pace. You know where you're going with these. So just take your time. As the body lifts, really allowing that sense of expansion and lengthening through that body. See where it feels good. 2 more. Notice if those knees are splaying, bring back in that strength, kind of pressing into those feet. The knees draw in like they're going to press into a block, pretending that it's there. Exhale, slowly release down. Last one, let's see if we can make this as slow as possible. So maybe even walk in those heels 1 more time now that we've gotten a little bit of softening and movement into the spine. May be able to lift a little bit more. Maybe Big hold for a pause at the top of the breath. And then slowly release down. Beautiful. Go ahead and hug those knees in. Okay, extending the arms out into a T, coming into a nice gentle twist. You can just keep the knees stacked here so it's just nice and gentle. Drop them on over to the left. That right or the left hand can come on top of those right thigh. Gaze to the right hand side. Knees are dropped to the left. As we allow our awareness to just really deeply resonate with the body, with the breath, we'll notice that the flight of ideas are just starting to slowly calm down. You notice you get caught back up in those thoughts again. Just guide yourself gently back to the breath. Grounding into the body, bring those knees back up to center. A little bit of a hug. And then drop over to the right, gaze to the left. That grounding, gentle hand on the top of the left thigh, that right hand can just gently rest. Anchoring the knees down. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring those knees back up. Gentle hug just to straighten everything out. Beautiful. So for a moment here, sorry, my block nice and far away. So hopefully yours was right close to you. So just taking a moment here to find your block. You're staying on your back there. And so grounding into the feet, the knees are bent. Go ahead and lift the hips. Okay, placing just in a low, the low form of the block. We don't want to go any higher than this right now because we want us to be really, really stable because we're going to be moving our legs around. Okay. So just placing the sacrum on top of the bolster or the block there, or books. If you don't have a block, you can just place a couple books under there. So we're just lifting just a little bit. Okay, from this place, let's go ahead and extend right leg up nice and long. Take a moment to flex and point. And create little circles. Really tucking that chin again, lengthening out through that spine. We'll just do 3 slow releases. So inhale here. Exhale, slowly release down. Nice and controlled. Taking the length of the exhale. And then just before touching, go ahead and slowly inhale up again, taking the length of the inhale. Exhale, float it down. Slow, intentional movements. Going back on up. Really pressing through that heel. So there's lots of activity in that thigh. So even though this is not an aggressive move by any chance or by any stance, it's definitely have a lot of awareness. And go ahead and bring that, float it back up in that right leg. Beautiful. Let's exhale down one more time. Okay. And from this point, go ahead and rest the heel for just a moment. We're going to tap the right leg out to the outer aspect of the mat. So 3 taps. So tap, tap, tap. So you're opening up that right leg, and then tap, tap back to center. Tap, tap out to the outer aspect of the mat or wherever the hip feels comfortable opening to, and then tap back in. Okay, so on the inhale, opening it up, and then tap that heel back in. So that left foot is grounded into the floor, really anchoring you and engaging that core. So that way you're feeling nice and strong and stable as you're moving. As you inhale, opening it up, tapping twice back on the exhale. Okay, just move through this at your own pace. It's subtle, but you are probably starting to feel it light up a little bit in that leg. Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and bring that right knee in towards your chest. Give it a little hug. And from here, extend that left leg out. Again, you have lots of modifying factors here. You can just keep the heel up and the knee bent if it feels too intense. And just let it splay out here for a minute, wherever that comfort zone is. Okay, slowly releasing that right foot down now. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So let's go ahead and extend that left leg up nice and long, point flex. Little circles, just really lighting up that leg. We're just firing it up, waking things up. Okay, nice big inhale. We're gonna do the 3 intentional, just slow release down. So big inhale here. Exhale, slowly leading with that heel. Grounding into that right sole of the foot. Inhaling, slowly floating it up. Use that ujjayi breath to help control. Okay, just before tapping, inhaling up. Last one. Okay, we're gonna exhale this one down and let the heel rest on the floor for just a moment. Okay, so again, grounding into the sole of the foot so that right knee isn't splaying out at all. Taking that left heel. And then inhale, tap, tap, opening it up just beyond the mat. Tap, tap on the exhale, close. Okay, so just follow your breath. Little subtle movements, lots of awareness. Lots of little muscle fibers firing right now. Let's do about 2 more rounds. Last one. Okay, go ahead and bring that knee in towards the chest. If it feels comfortable, extend that right leg out long. Beautiful. Take another moment to extend that left leg out long. And again, you have the choice. You can keep that knee bent if it feels better, if the low back feels sensitive at all, just keep that bend in the knee. If it feels okay and comfortable in the sacrum, because sometimes it can feel unstable. But if it feels good, you can go ahead and extend those legs out. If you'd like to extend through the upper body, you can extend those arms up above the head. And another practice, just like we played with it a little bit in the beginning, is often when we are in our heads, if we close our eyes, sometimes we can tend to get lost in our thoughts. So if you notice that you're getting kind of caught up in the thought train that kind of plows on through, take a moment to orient back to the room. Just noticing different things, the texture of the ceiling, the quality of the light, the temperature of the air. Just bring yourself back to the moment. Okay, so from here, soles of the feet, back up. If you're a little bit tender here, just take a moment. And here we're coming into a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. So letting the feet come together and the knees splay away. We're deeply supported in that sacrum. And again, if low backs are sensitive and this just feels too much on the block, feel free to move the block and just do this on the floor. You can just reduce the intensity here. And if it feels good to keep the arms above, keep them above. If it feels better to keep them down, just play with that too. You can even, for a moment, if you'd like to rub the hands and place the hands on top of the eyes. So even though we're letting go of our sight, we're coming into that sensation of the warmth of the palms, that energy we've cultivated. Take one more breath here. Exhale. Go ahead and release the arms down along the side of the hips, gently drawing the knees in towards midline. Okay, grounding into the soles of the feet slowly. It might be a little bit tender in the low back, so maybe take a minute to rock. And then slowly press on up. And then go ahead and remove the block from here, okay? A nice little hug. Draw the knees in towards chest. Beautiful. Okay, let's take the hands behind the thighs and rock and roll. Just waking up that back body. Okay, last one. Come on up. Beautiful. Hopefully you guys are feeling nice and zen and calm. So allowing yourself to extend those legs out nice and long. Coming into a half twist. This one here, I'll draw it on my left leg up actually, so you guys can see here. Just letting, instead of crossing the leg over, just letting this be a nice gentle twist. So the foot is staying on the side here. We're not crossing at all. I'm just gonna keep it right here. Take the hand on the left hand, pressing up through the spine, inhaling, reaching through the crown of the head, and then exhale, slowly come into the twist and allowing the gaze just to be at the side wall, not the back. And again, take a moment to notice what is connected to the earth. So the heel on that right foot, the calf, the thigh, the sole of the left foot, the sits bones, the fingertips. Beautiful. Okay, extending out, coming into the other side. So drawing that right knee in. Take a moment to come back on top of those sits bones again. Okay, inhaling long through the spine. You can take those right fingertips back. A nice gentle twist, inhale. And exhale. Twist to the side wall. So the gaze is just gentle. With each exhale, slowly allowing yourself to just gently surrender into the posture. Big inhale through the crown. And exhale, coming on out of the twist. Again, come into the tops of those sits bones again. And we're going to play with a little bit of a different stretch. So inhaling, let's go ahead and inhale the arms up. Exhale, release forward. See where they want to come. And this time we're going to cross over. So we're going to sweep our left arm. So sweeping it back behind the hip, inhaling up, almost like we're swimming in a pool. We're going to exhale and then let that left hand come to the right foot. On that exhale, let the gaze go to the knees. Okay, now just gently releasing the hand, taking the right hand, just again, sweeping it back like we're swimming in the pool. Big inhale, expansive. Exhale, let it drop to the left foot. Then that left hand is just going to come to the side of the left leg. Okay, inhaling. Exhale. Okay, find your flow. I'm just going to play with this. Moving when the body feels ready. Taking those gentle pauses either at the end of the exhale or at the height of the inhale. So if it feels good, really inhale and hold here for a breath, and then exhale, release. Right hand to left. And then at the base of that exhale, just to hold here for one more moment. And then slowly flowing, following through. One more time on each side. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and slowly come up, sliding the feet up, knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Go ahead and allow your front body to connect to the tops of the thighs, releasing here, and just coming into a nice gentle release of that back, letting the head settle for just a moment. Beautiful. Okay, taking the feet, allowing them to come together. Now we're coming into a seated Supta, or not reclined Supta Baddha, but Baddha Konasana here. So the feet coming together and allowing a little bit of space though, a bit of a diagonal, or sorry, a bit of a diamond. Too much math with my kids, huh? All this stuff. And so just a little bit of an openness here in the legs. Inhaling through the crown. And then exhale. Maybe let the hands slide up towards the ankles or just above here. And then as you inhale again, inhale, almost using this to kind of secure. The hands are kind of pulling on the legs, lengthening through that spine. And then as you exhale, use the elbows, let the elbows bend, and then drop them into the thighs. And see if they can kind of just gently press into the thighs and open up through that, the hips there. Notice that the soles of the feet want to gently kind of open here. You can shake the head no, release any tension. Notice if those shoulders are up by your ears, kind of drop them down and away. Release any tension in the head or the neck. Beautiful. Okay. Gently pressing on up, crossing the feet, allowing yourself to come into tabletop position. Okay. Grounding, just squaring out. So hands just below the shoulders. You can tuck the toes here. Knees are squared out. Let's do 3 cat-cows. So inhaling, letting the belly drop. Gaze goes up. Exhale, rolling through the spine. Gaze to the belly button. Inhale. Opening front body. Exhale. One more time. Last exhale. Okay, this time we're going to incorporate the lower body. So inhaling here and lifting that left foot, really pressing through that left heel. And then exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest. Okay, inhale, like you're pressing up towards the ceiling. Engaging those glutes. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Really rounding, so really pressing through those palms. Caving in, the belly button is drawing in towards the spine, so there's room for that knee to really draw up. And then inhale, opening it up. Last one, nice and purposeful. Okay, go ahead and ground that left knee, coming into it on the right-hand side. Okay, getting warm. Okay, so we'll go ahead and from here, really pressing through the sole of that foot. Inhale, belly drops, gaze goes up. Exhale. Scooping the belly, knee draws in. Pressing, inhale. Ujjayi breathing. 3 more. Lots of energy in that lower body. Don't forget the upper body though. So really pressing through those palms. That whole base is active. Exhale, bring it in. Beautiful. Go ahead and let the knees settle down, opening the knees up outside of the mats, toes together, drop into child's pose for a moment. So just releasing on down, letting the forehead release towards the mat, whether it touches or not, that's okay. Extending those arms out nice and long. Then slowly walking the hands to the right, and then placing that left hand on top of the right hand. Nice side stretch on the left side. Okay, walking it over. Okay, right palm on top of the left palm. Beautiful. These fluid, slow movements. Staying nice and low to the ground. Kind of press, come on up. Knees come back together. Let's go ahead and come into our downward dog. Okay, tucking those toes. Go ahead and lift the hips and walk it out. Finding your breath. We're going to play with our bear pose, but a little bit of different intention here. So go ahead and drop the knees like you're going to come down into tabletop. And usually I have you hover here, but this time I want you to send your hips back. So your belly is going towards the tops of the thighs, almost like you're in a squat here. Notice how your arms activate. Really press into those palms and then lift the hips. Big breath here. Exhale, let the knees come down. Gently, we're hovering. Now press into the palms, sending hips back, belly over top of the thighs, and then inhaling, lift. Take a few breaths here. One more time. So go ahead and hover. Okay, press into the palms, belly towards the tops of the thighs. Got that nice squat, and then lift. Enjoy breathing, shake that head. Notice any tension. Slowly start walking the feet to meet the hands. Wide feet stance. Hands just above the elbows on either side. And then just slowly sway from just side to side. One knee bending and then the other. Beautiful. And slowly allowing yourself to come back to midline, extending those arms out nice and long. And heel toe the feet a little bit closer together. Toes not quite touching here. Little micro bend in the knees, lengthening it out wherever that feels comfortable for you. Go ahead and ground into the right palm. So bending that right knee and extending the left arm up towards the sky. Again, you can use that soft Ujjayi breath. See where the gaze wants to go. Okay, go ahead and float that left arm down, bending into that left knee, sole of the palm of the hand reaches down, or tips of the fingers, whatever is comfortable. Or if you have your block, you can also place that there. But we're bending into that left knee and pressing into the palm, right fingertips to the sky. Nice gentle twist here. Just noticing the soles of the feet. Really grounding to the earth, rooting down. As you then feel the energy kind of moving through that right arm all the way up through the palm and the fingertips. Okay, exhale, float it down. Beautiful. Okay, grounding into the feet. And float it on up. Nice job, you guys. Okay, let's inhale, arms up. Little micro back bend. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Really lengthen through the crown. Long spine. Exhale. Again, ground into the feet. For nice little half sun salutations. Exhale. Let's do two more of these, just really grounding into that beautiful flow. The mind also loves when, exhale down, when you do familiar things, falling into patterns, right? Inhale halfway. So that's why it's easy to get stuck in bad habits. It's the path of released resistance, and it's very calming. It can be disruptive as we start new patterns, but sometimes it's necessary. It's the same with music. Like when you have familiar music that you know. Exhale, float it down. Inhale halfway. Exhale. Okay, nice wide arms, gathering it. Pulling in all that good energy. Beautiful. Go ahead and roll the shoulders back and down, hands on either side, and just allowing yourself to just notice for a moment. So depending on where you are, thought-wise, mind-wise, whether you want the eyes softly gazing at something just beyond your mat, or if you want to let the eyes gently close and allow you to go into that inner being of the body, and just noticing what's here. Just noticing these subtleties. For me, there's just like a gentle warmth, a gentle tingling. Just notice what feels good, where there feels like a sense of release. Okay, let's go ahead and inhale. Let those eyes open, slowly float the arms up. Exhale, sink into the hips. It's coming into our chair pose. You can kind of rock back and forth, see where that stable place is, and play with it. Hold here for 3 breaths. It's really stable poses here. Not a lot of fast movement, not a lot of fast flow. Sometimes this can feel challenging too to the mind. We're really allowing ourselves to just land in the body. Inhale, come on up. Micro back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Take 3 breaths here. So notice if you need a little micro bend in the knees. Grounding into the feet. Nice wide arms, come on up. We're going to float it down into our chair pose again. So sink those hips. And again, you can kind of rock your way down. Gently tricking your body into sinking a little bit lower. Okay. And then make sure that you're even in the soles of the feet. So you're not back on the heels, you're not up on the toes, really sinking solidly, pressing into the soles of the feet. Okay. 2 more breaths, Ujjayi breaths here. Feeling that strength, feeling that warmth, feeling the legs really lighting up. 1 more breath. Okay, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Okay, let's bend one knee and then the other. Allowing ourselves to come into that nice gentle twist again. So grounding the right palm, and again, using whatever you need to. But grounding the right palm, bending the right knee, extending the left arm up. On that next exhale, go ahead and float that left arm down, bending into that left knee, left palm, grounding down. As you exhale, right fingertips up to the sky, 2 breaths here. Exhale it down. Okay, slowly start walking the feet back. Come on into your plank pose. Directly over here. And then gently dropping that right knee down. Okay, opening into that nice supported. Just really extending through those left fingertips. A nice supported side plank here. So just really strengthening through that core. Okay, go ahead and float it down, moving on to the opposite side. So squaring out, you can bring that left knee in, lining up that left palm with the left knee, extending right leg out, and pivoting onto the inner aspect of that right foot, extending right fingertips up to the sky. And again, gaze wherever it feels comfortable. So whether to the sky, to the wall, or to the floor. Okay, go ahead and exhale, float it down. Bring those knees in. Extending the legs out nice and long. Coming into your plank. So we're drawing those shoulders directly over the wrists here. You can gently let the knees drop down if you'd like. Gather those elbows, slowly release down. Extending the legs out long. Taking a moment as we're working with our hips and that SI joint. We're playing with this and coming into, it's almost like a fallen tree or a frog pose. A lot of you may sleep this way, but allowing the knee to draw up. So it might be that the foot is flexed and it's a bit of a, more of an open heel here, or you can have it that you're kind of drawing it in towards that inner thigh. Extend the right leg out nice and long. Just letting that sacrum just realign. Gently slide that left leg out nice and long. You can let the right knee come on up. And again, you can flex that foot. Let that come out. Or you can draw it in. Just see where it feels comfortable in the hip, where it feels like you can let the weight of the hip just kind of drop. Just take 2 more breaths here. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bring that forehead back to midline, extending that right leg out nice and long, and then roll over onto your right side, or whichever side that you can see me first, depending on how you're oriented. Keep that right knee bent here. And from here, we're going to extend the left leg up. That's what also reminds me of a Jane Fonda move. Greg loves these. So you can play with this however you want. So we start with our knee facing forward, and then we're opening it almost like a can. Okay, so we're really allowing the femur head to drop into its socket, that hip socket there. Okay, from this point, you have your choice. You can just kind of hang here. You can extend with your hand on the back of the thigh, or if it feels comfortable, like we do in our happy baby, you can go ahead and do yogi toes and extend out long. One more breath. And then exhale, bring it down. We're just gonna roll and come onto the other side. I'm going to flip this way so that way I can keep my eye for the screen. Okay. And actually this time, if you wanna try with the arm, elbow just underneath the shoulder. Got a little lazy on that first one, sorry about that. So we'll keep that left knee bent, okay? And so notice here, if you're dropping in the rib cage, you can really engage that core and bring that integrity into that base right here. So sliding that shoulder so it's directly over the elbow, gathering up the core here, the ribs, and then allowing, okay, we start with the knee facing forward, opening it up. And then again, seeing where you want to go. You can either extend it up. You can use your pant leg, do that. Or if it feels comfortable, you can grab your toes. There we go. That felt better. I knew it felt a little funky on that first one. So just allowing that lengthening here. Lots of activation without there being a ton of flowy movement tonight. But I'm hoping that your body is feeling equally kind of stimulated and activated, but yet deeply grounded and calm. Allowing just a nice, gentle sense of clarity, awareness. Okay, go ahead and let that knee drop. Okay. And then let's go ahead and release onto our backs, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Give a little hug here. And then slowly let the soles of the feet come to just the outer aspects. So coming into almost like we're moving into our bridge pose, but instead of being aligned, we're opening it up, okay? We're gonna drop that left knee in. You can either stay here, or if it feels comfortable in your knees or your hips, you can take the right foot and just let it gently rest on top of that left knee. You'll know right away if that feels good or not. Just feel free to just drop it down to the side. Sometimes at the end of practice, this is a little bit more available to people. Let's see where the head wants to go. Just let it drop to the opposite side if that feels good. Okay, one more breath. Slowly release that right foot on top if it was there in the first place, and then let the knees come back to midline. Okay, and then dropping that right knee in, and then placing that left foot on top of the right knee, and just anchoring down. So that left knee is just releasing. Everything's just kind of nice and heavy. It's just acting as an anchor. Let the gaze go to the right hand side if that feels good. One more breath here. Okay, slowly release that top foot. Let the knees come back to center. And now we'll come into our nice traditional twist. So you have the choice how you want to come into this. If you want to stack knees, if your low back is a little bit sensitive, you can just stack knees and drop the knees over to the side, or you can cross. Let's go ahead and start moving to the left side. So if you're crossing the right leg over the left and then dropping the knees over to the left-hand side. And again, the gaze can go to the right. Just kind of adjust your upper body so that way the shoulders are connected to the earth. So that we don't want that right shoulder to be lifted. We want to kind of alter, just kind of lift and settle our upper body back down. So if you notice that you are popping off, you might be in a little bit too deep of a twist. So you can uncross the legs. You just want the whole body to be at ease right now. This is a place of surrender, softening. You might notice the body starting to cool off a little bit now that we're slowing our movement. Go ahead and let the knees come back up to center on cross on the next exhale, shifting those hips, and then deciding how you're coming into it the side. You can cross the legs if you'd like. Drop the knees on over to the right, gaze to the left. Again, just kind of adjust. Arms wherever they want to be, long out like a T or cactus arms, depending on your space. If it feels comfortable, you can let the eyes close. Space between the teeth. Eyes heavy, and maybe even a gentle smile on the face. As you allow this beautiful sense of ease, just seeing where the body can get a little bit heavier, just surrendering with each exhale. One more breath. And then slowly start to bring those knees up towards center, shift those hips, and then give yourself a nice hug. Okay, extend that right leg out nice and long, keeping that left knee in, extending through that front right leg. Opposite side, drawing right knee in, left leg out. Okay, drawing that right knee in. Go ahead and come into your happy baby, however that looks for you. So with our hands just kind of hooking, dropping those knees to either side of the rib. You can grasp the outside of the feet or the yogi toes. See where you want to be. You can bring a little bit of rocking in, massage that back. Or any other pose that feels good right now before we get ready to move into our Shavasana. Beautiful. Close it up with a nice little hug. And then take a moment to find a sweatshirt or a blanket. You can use your bolster if you want to come into Supta Konasana. You can let the bolster be here. Shimmy those hips up, or if you have blankets, those folded blankets, you can just shimmy them up to the hips here and then release them back. This is a beautiful way to really kind of release that low back. And again, with the feet, feet can be together, soles of the feet together, knees wide open, if that feels comfortable, that you don't feel like you're needing to be supported in any way. If the low back is sensitive, the feet can be more than hip width apart, knees knocking in or extending out long. Just play with it, see what feels good. This is just really nice counterbalance to all the work that we've done tonight, if that feels good. Or you can also let the bolster or blankets be underneath the knees and support the low back that way. Okay, so let's just find our way down to the mat. Comfy place, warm blankets. I'll get mine on too. So allowing the breath to come into the body. So drawing it in through the nose, inhaling in. Exhaling out. Beautiful. Just letting the weight of the body, letting gravity do its job by letting the body just deeply surrender to the earth. Letting those shoulders drop back and down, opening through that heart center. And though we are deeply rooted, we are also in a space of receiving, heart open. So taking a moment to let the awareness float to the crown of the head. A warm, glowing ball of light. And for tonight, as we honor the root chakra, allowing it to glow red. Just a soft red light that brightens on the inhale and just gently dims on the exhale. Floating down to the space between the brow. Letting that furrow in the brow soften. Almost imagining if it is just a nice warm cloth across the forehead. The eyes sinking heavy. Deeply relaxed, no longer taking in any input. Space between the teeth and the jaw is soft. Noticing the coolness of the breath as you draw the breath in through the nose. That soft expansion of the entire inner being. And that gentle knitting back together as you exhale. The softening of the throat. The shoulders, notice if they are even up still. See if you can drop them down away from the ears, just a little bit more back towards the earth. No longer needing to shoulder the weight of the world on your shoulders anymore. Lightness in heart and soul, bring that breath in to the heart space. Slowly letting it float down to the space just below the sternum, the solar plexus. And allowing yourself to deeply trust that you have what it takes to move through hard things. The confidence that builds as we do the hard things, as we move through challenges and obstacles, as we show up for ourselves even when it's hard. Exhaling, letting it float down to the space just below the belly button. And remembering that creativity that we hold at all times to come up with solutions, to solve problems, to connect, to create beauty. There's so many ways we can apply it in the world. And then gently down to the base of the pelvis, down through the legs, the calves, the feet. Deeply rooted and grounded, safe and secure. Recognizing all that we need is within. So allowing yourself to breathe here for 2 more breaths in this beautiful glowing red light. Just emanating throughout the body. And bring the breath into the body a little bit deeper. Exhale, releasing that light to the earth. Through the back body, the heels, the calves, the hips, the ribs, the shoulder blades, the back of the skull. Knowing that you carry its essence with you always. As you free yourself from the earth, just wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe even bringing in a little stretch. And then gently allowing yourself to roll on over to your right side. Cradling the head and the arm, knees drawn up. And then slowly, slowly, when you're ready, just gently pressing up to seated. Let's go ahead. Let's place one hand over the other at heart center here. Let's seal our practice with one shared breath. So a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering, and may you know peace. Namaste. Thank you guys so much.